YAK-141, the forgotten gem that now with the BR decompression is one of the best aircraft you can fly. Hello guys, once again it's Matt, thank you all the members and patrons, make sure to subscribe. And today we're flying the YAK-141, an aircraft that was already pretty alright, you know, before the decompression of BR. But now guys, this thing is really good, it really is. And the main factor onto this is that the aircraft that you face on it, and we might talk a little bit about how this aircraft might deserve to have some better weaponry to actually see a better BR. Because the aircraft that this thing faces is pretty much just 80% of third generation jets. You know, from time to time you get a match with some early jets for the fourth generation, like F-14s, some MiG-29s, some early F-16s, stuff like that. You can see it, but normally it's just an enormous amount of F-4s, you know, MiG-23s, Mirage F-1s, stuff like that. And I mean, it's not that this thing is perfect and oh my god it will stomp. No, it doesn't have a lot of missiles, and the missiles that he have, I mean, the R-27ERs are the good ones, you know, the R-27s in general. The R-60, you know how the R-60 is. It can be alright, it can be bad, right? But normally I just don't use the R-60s on this thing, because I just use 4 R-27s. It's just the best loadout possible, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just a very good aircraft. The funny part is that I have to actually do a video about this, because this thing might actually win against the MiG-29 in a dogfight. I have a feeling that it's so light, it's very weird. A lot of people came to me when this thing was actually being added, saying how the flight model of this thing was just completely wrong, right? Because I gotta say, this thing is incredible in a dogfight. It turns like almost nothing. Like, it's really good. It's very light. It has a lot of power. The engine is one of the strongest engines in the game, you know. Of course you only have one, but still it produces enormous amount of power. Like, it really is one of the strongest engines, if not the strongest engine in the game, together with a flight model that it's incredible. It has its drawbacks. It doesn't have a lot of countermeasures, for example, and that's like together with the not a lot of missiles situation that I was talking about, it makes it for, you know, an aircraft that has an immense amount of performance, immense amount of possibility of getting kills, but at the same time you do need to be careful in the defensive part of it, not getting shot too many times because you don't have a lot of flares in chaff, and of course not wasting your missiles. And of course R-27s, you have basically two ways of playing with them, right? Firing them from a long range because they do have that energy. But people are very careful right now when you try to do BVR, beyond the visual range combat, right? So you will miss a lot of missiles if you try to do BVR. Although this is using one of the best, or if not the best, Fox 1 missile in the game, it's still going to miss a lot because people know how to evade these missiles already, right? You will see that in the next match that we are playing. But in overall, I mean, look at the aircraft that I'm firing. Yes, I fired on F-14 at the early stages of the match, but the other types of aircraft, here was my mistake. I kind of went upwards. I shouldn't have done that. The Sky Flash eventually got me. Tried to control it a bit with the VTOL, but I guess the back engine was just not producing a lot of power or something that created an imbalance in power, and the aircraft just lost control. The aircraft was really flying in a weird manner over here, that's why. But in a general sense, you know, it's an aircraft that see the things that you are facing. I mean, tornadoes, very easy to kill. I mean, I got killed by it, but you know what I mean, right? F-4Ss, MiG-23s, Mirage F-1s, stuff like that is very easy to kill on this thing. This still like outperforms a lot of aircraft in the game that are 4th generation, and you still have, you know, like that part of it being that you don't face a lot of 4th generations anyway. You face a lot of 3rd generation, so it's even better, right? And like I said, with the BR decompression, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, as you see here, I lost the lock there, and you will notice how BVR, it is a little bit harder than it used to be, and it's not because the R27ER is nerfed or because the aircraft is worse or anything like that. It's just that people know how to be a little bit more careful now. They used to just fly straight to the enemy. That's why I used to get a lot of kills from 50 to 60 kilometers, like literally at least 1 or 2 kills every single match from 40 upwards, you know, 35 upward kilometers in range, right? So it's pretty incredible. And then it comes the question, right? Is this thing another one that needs a new BR? You know, we already talked about, I think it was this week, right? Or last week, I don't remember exactly, about the F-14, how the F-14A might actually need a new BR, and I don't know exactly how, and like, it's complicated, right? We don't need a new BR, but at the same time, the F-14A is pretty amazing right now, and it is at 12.3, and this thing is 12.7, so it's almost around the same BR, but having an incredible amount of performance and an R-27, which is a better missile than any other missile that the Phoenix or the Sparrow, you know, of the F-14, right? Of course, with a lower BR, you can get more kills, but you know what I mean. But in a general sense, is it right for these aircraft to be at 12.7 with these weapons? Because remember, this thing actually, I mean, it's complicated, it is controversial. Remember, this is an aircraft that was only in its prototype phase. I mean, it passed the tests for the Soviet state to actually be introduced into service. So it was, I mean, basically the factories were almost ready to start producing them. It was like almost like maybe 1 or 2 years we would already have a lot of number of these aircraft, you know, already entering in the service kind of situation, right? And like I said, he already passed the tests for the Soviet state to enter service, so he was already pre-service, kinda, you know, not really pre-service, but you know what I mean. And but with that, you know, the prototype from the production aircraft would be a little bit different, and this is how the production aircraft would look like, basically with the IRST and everything, right? And in its production model, obviously, it would take better stuff than it's already taking it right now. The R-27ER, of course, the R-27T, ET, of course, they would already use it, but they would substitute the R-60M for the R-73, obviously, and add the R-77, and that's the question. This is an aircraft that has the same performance as the top dogs of War Thunder, but it is facing a lot of third generations. Not really fair, but if this aircraft gets a higher BR, it will suffer a lot in the BR that it is right now, right? With the weapon systems that it has right now, I mean, right? So it would deserve to have the R-73 and R-77, so here lies the question, should this thing actually have the R-77 and the R-73 with the cost of having a higher BR to help not only these aircraft to be a little bit more fun, because R-73s and R-77s are a lot more fun than using the R-60 and R-27, obviously, but also not only that, and the main thing would be to save the third generations from facing a YAK-141, which is an incredible aircraft, right? So my opinion, I think yes, it should, you know, just to especially save the third generations now. It was fine before the decompression, but right now it's kind of weird. But you tell me in the comments if you would like to see this aircraft in a higher BR but with R-77s and R-73s. Would it be actually cool to see that? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, guys, amazing aircraft. If you have it or you are getting it, go fly it. It's pretty incredible. You can get a lot of 3-4 kills at least on a game. So yeah, see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See ya.